What could you do to protect your pets if you're sick or injured? My product, Save My Pet ID tag, helps you ensure that your beloved pets are safe and well cared for, even when life isn't what you expect.
We're talking with Morgan Weber. She has created a company. It is called Memory Flame Candle Company, but she's also a doggone great professional pet sitter, and she is the founder of Lucky Pup Adventures. You're in South Dakota. How long have you had the company? I love the name, Lucky Pup Adventures.
Thank you. We started in 2013 as just kind of a side gig, as a way to kind of fill out our income. We were, college grads who weren't making a ton of money in our professional, quote unquote, professional jobs. And, I'm telling you, it just kept growing and growing and growing. I went to school to be an architect.
Really?
I was working in the field. I was doing my internship. I was about to start taking my tests to become an architect. And
Wow.
in 2018, I decided I would rather be a dog walker and a business owner than I would to be an architect. So, I haven't looked back. So it's been a good
here's a
couple
motto
years.
for you. Build it, they will bark.
I love it.
How about that?
That's fantastic.
I love that because you're interacting with clients and their pets. And there's many of us that feel like they're aunts or uncles, if you will,
Yes.
to someone's dog, cat, or other pet. My sister has 3 dogs, and a shout out to Oliver. We got Oliver. Let me get them right. Here we go. Brad, edit this out. Shout out to Oliver, Jeannie, and Jackson, who are our canine cousins, and I love them very, very much. So you created candles, but it isn't just any kind of candles. So talk about that and why and how people can find out about it. And then we're going to go and get schooled by you on what you should never say and what you can say to help somebody dealing with the loss of a pet.
Yeah, so they are very special candles. And I think there is something I've heard from both our clients who gift candles to their other clients or to their friends or to their family, that there is something so special about them. And they really are a remembrance item, an item to remember, to honor that person or that pet who has passed away. I call them our universal love candles. They're for any type of loss. And they've got a little sprinkling of glitter on top. We put the person or the pet's name that we're honoring on the label. So it very much is an item that's going to really represent the love and the life of that one who has been lost. And, we can't, there's a belief out there too that grief goes away or that loss goes away. And all of us who have had a special person or a special pet in our lives who's no longer here, we know that loss doesn't just disappear over time. That person or that pet is still missing. And really what happens is our life grows around the loss. So the impact on our lives that they had doesn't get smaller. It's just that we learn to live in a way around that loss. And so people often think, well, if I don't send, my condolences in the first couple weeks, I shouldn't do it at all because maybe I'm going to remind them or I'm going to make them feel more sad. And that's just not the case because you can't remind somebody that they've lost this person or this pet. Studies show that people carry pet loss, or any kind of important loss to them for, 9 to 18 months is how long on average people grieve a significant loss. And so, I say it's more important for folks to just reach out. Whether you send one of our candles, whether you just send a text message, whether you, send them a handwritten card, just reach out. Whether it's been a couple days, a couple weeks, a couple months, even a couple years, if you are thinking of somebody, let them know because they will most likely feel really alone in their grief. And pet loss especially is disenfranchised. You might be
think it's getting any better now that we're more and more embracing pets as part of the family?
I think in some ways it is. And I think in some ways we still kind of get stuck in our fear of grief and our fear of death. And so we are afraid to reach out. So I know there's definitely some initiatives on, wanting to make sure people get bereavement leave when they lose a pet, because again, that pet is, maybe more important, might be the most important thing in their life. Or that's the thing that's been with them and through so much in their life. So I think in some ways we are definitely making progress. And I think in other ways we are still just, again, kind of afraid of the whole topic.
Well, let's dive in because these are like no-nos. You're being well, but what are some things we should never say or do to someone who just lost a pet? What would you kind of give us some examples to help us out, and then we'll go to what we can do.
Yes. So I think it's very common for us anytime we're afraid of something, we tend to want to put distance to it, or we want to, distract from it. And so people will often say things like, well, at least, at least you had a long time together.
Jeez. Okay.
Even if we get 16 years with our pets, it's still never enough, right?
Exactly.
Or phrases like, well, you were so lucky. You were so lucky. And so therefore, just feel better, right? And it's like, no. Or, it was a good thing that, they had fill in the blank, a quick death, or they had, that you were, maybe you weren't there. Oh, it's a good thing you didn't have to be there. There's all sorts of things. People are saying it, from a place of trying to be helpful and, trying to be kind, and they don't realize how much it hurts. They're in a better place. It was meant to be.
Where is this better place?
Me, I'm the better place.
With them, right? So that's not a better place, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so, they wouldn't want you to be sad. Well, maybe our pets wouldn't want us to be sad, but I don't think my pet would want me to forget about them.
No.
So all of these things, people are saying, they're trying to be helpful and they're really not helpful. I hear people who have lost a child and people say, well, at least you've got another one at home.
Yeah. All right. So
we don't do it. Don't do it.
Let's go to what we should and can do. So we feel like we're helping and we feel like we're respecting the person we love who just lost a pet.
And I think that's the perfect way to say it. How can we help honor and respect the relationship and the connection that person has had? So things like, my heart hurts for your loss. I like to say use connection words, use like emotion words, not brain words, but emotion words.
All right. What do you mean by that? I like that. What do you mean?
Yeah. So a brain word would be, let's try to intellectualize this, right? Like, oh, well, they were old and they were sick, and so it's okay that they passed away. Or so instead of saying those things, say, gosh, I'm really going to miss Fluffy's adorable ears. And it was so cute how excited Fluffy would get when you got home every day.
Okay, good.
Would you tell me about Buster? I just really, I got to see you on social media and how much fun you had. And could you just tell me a little something about him? Or maybe, gosh, I'm really thinking of you today, Arden, because, I saw somebody at the park and they had a dog who looked a lot like your dog. And I just wanted to let you know, like, I'm thinking of you.
That's nice.
Those are feeling words, even just saying, there are no words to tell you how sorry I am, or I know there's no words to describe what this loss is going to mean to you, but just know that I'm here. And, if you ever need an ear, or if you ever just want to tell me about Buster, like, I would love to listen. I also
liked you said something at the talk. Actions also carry clout. So we know to do words from the heart, not from the brain.
Yes.
Actions. So like picking up a bag of groceries or something. Tell us some ideas.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of times we say, well, let me know how I can help you.
Right.
Well, if somebody is really grieving, that can be hard to know. Are you going to get me a bottle of wine? Are you going to pick up my groceries?
Or a big box of wine, yeah.
Or a big box of wine, a bunch of chocolate, So instead, offer something that you actually can do. So maybe, for some people that might be, hey, I know that you've got this going on. Can I pick up your kids from school today? I'm going to the grocery store. Can I want to bring you something to eat tonight. Can I get you maybe like a frozen pizza? I can bring you a roasted chicken, Give people options, but not just, an open invitation, because they might not know, one, they might not know what you're willing to offer, but two, they might also feel some shame from having to ask for something. So, for me, sometimes it might be, hey, I've got my Tuesday afternoon open or my Wednesday morning open. I could be happy to come and walk, Sally for you. If Sally wants to have a little walk, it's on me, or whatever it is that you are willing to do for them, just make that offer very clear so they're not wondering. And, you can follow up too. So again, not everyone is willing to actually make that ask. And so sometimes maybe if you're a friend, you've got to be a little bit pushy sometimes to let them know that, no, I really am here to help. And I really do want to do this for you. It's not just an open offer. It's not just hollow words, but I'm really here to do that for you.
I really love what you said, and you're helping us help others. And we also have pets that aren't ours that we have built a bond with, and we need to grieve for them too. Ourselves, we need to grieve for the loss of them, right?
Absolutely. And that's another disenfranchised grief is for those of us as pet lovers, whether you work in the vet field, whether you're a groomer, a pet sitter, even just a person who loves your neighbor's dog, you might have your own grief around their loss.
Yeah.
And other pet owners might not understand how important their pet was to you. And so they might, again, people in grief do things sometimes that are hurtful, and they might say things to you, or they might not say anything to you. And you don't find out until a long time later that their pet passed away. And it's hard for those of us who are in a caregiver role sometimes to remember that what somebody does or does not do in their own grief is not a reflection of our, the level of our care or how much we loved them, or, the quality of our work. And so that's another thing I just want to, let other pet people know is that, if someone doesn't tell you that their pet passed away, it might have just been because they had so many people to tell and they were so heartbroken that they just couldn't imagine having to send one more message or let one more person know. And just know that, again, it's not your fault and you didn't do something wrong. It doesn't mean that it hurts any less, but it just, trying to give yourself a little bit of grace in those moments when you feel hurt. Because again, that just all of this burnout that is so common in the pet care world can really be compounded from all of these various factors. So just know that, people don't always think of you in the way that you would like to be thought of. And that's not a downside of the work that you've been doing. So it's not a reflection of your work.
Hey, I can't believe the time goes by so fast.
It does.
But I want people to know how they can get in touch. We were talking with Morgan Weber. Give us your websites and also tell people about the Lucky Pup podcast.
Yes, so you can find us memoryflame.co, and that's our website. Those are our Instagram handles. You can find us on Facebook that way. And then, I started a new podcast. It's called the Lucky Pup Podcast. We talk about burnout. We talk about business. I interview a lot of my business friends. We kind of cover the gamut. We've talked about mental health. We've talked about graphic design. We've talked about marketing. We've talked about numbers and finances. So it's really an all-encompassing. As business owners, we have to wear a lot of hats. And sometimes we're also encouraging you to take some of those hats off and find other professionals who can help you out so you can lower the amount of work that you have to carry as the business owner. So that's what we're chatting about.
All right. So everyone, grief is okay.
Yes.
Embrace, let it be individualized. Don't talk like AI, talk with your heart, and let's help this be a better place. I thank you again, Morgan Weber. Thank you so much for being a guest on our show.
Thank you so much, Art, and I was so happy to be here.